for this particular target, we would first use census to do some information gathering, and let's see what we get. Let me log in first, and then we are good to go. Let's get the domain name, mural. Over here we got some IPs, but we don't really know that what belongs to the company. So just for a second I'm using Shodan as well, because a good thing about Shodan is we get to decide that what thing belongs to what company, because we can see some things. SSL mural.co. Okay, so over here this is the first IP we got for mural.co, but it's not a wildcard entry because we need to stick to real-time image notifier app.mural.co. So we cannot uh, look for these things, because for example over here mural.co is in scope, and over here we got IP which is running mural.co, if I'm not wrong. Okay, it's a fastly server, it's a TLS certificate. No, it's not. It's for mural.co. Let's run it and see what happens. It's not redirecting. That should not happen. One thing I can do is host name mural.co. That might change some things over here. Mm, not. Oh, because these are the wildcards. If there might have been a wildcard entry, it would be of some use to us. But we are restricted with the domains. It's, for example, it's mural.co VR manager, but this, if this domain is not in scope, so we can't test it, and I can't see a thing in scope. Okay, 1 minute. It's not working. So yeah, we didn't got something good from here. First is notifier mural.co. It's the mural notifications thing. Image mural. This is a mural image. Okay, real time. So these are, I guess, used within this feature. So let's begin with testing of the main website, that's app.mural.co. Let's begin by testing this. First thing we should do is test the sign up features very accurately. We have to wait for it to load. So we would sign up for free. It's asking for a work mail, but I am entering my personal mail. That is not a bug, to be very precise. That's not a bug at all. It sends me an OTP. Lack of rate limiting is not in scope, so we won't be wasting time hunting for that. But uh, one thing I want to tell you guys is, for example, I am entering this OTP, so response manipulation is allowed. Okay, do intercept response to this request. The response is create password hash with UUID sort of stuff. Let me copy this and take this request to repeater. Okay, Over here, one thing came up to my mind. What if I might have entered the wrong code? Okay. First, let me check this flow entirely, then I would come to conclusions. Then in the notepad, let me paste that particular thing which I got. It says welcome to mural and things. I want to inject HTML email injection payload over here, so I would load it in here. It says these all things are not allowed. First name may only contains letters, apostrophes, commas. Okay, let's try some other things. It's not allowing. Arman. Okay, it's not allowing even. The bugs related to passwords are not allowed. So yeah, we won't test that. Is first password true? Return URL and things. Create account. When I click on create account, it says create hash name verification. Now over here, if I try to change the name, does it allow? Most probably it should not allow. Yeah, malform JSON invalid payload. As I thought. Let me give a right password. A response to this request. It gives me a JWT token over here. It's the refresh token. This is the token over here. If we take this to jwt.io, it contains username, alias, ID, MFA authenticated. What this token contains? Same thing. So yeah. Moving on. Seeing through every request which is passing, it has my name. Now over here it has the name. What if we try to change the name over here? At that particular point it didn't allow me, but what if I try to change the name over here? Response to this request. Invalid payload it gives. What if I try to give something like this? Invalid first name. Bing.com. It allows. Now, keeping that in mind, we have a few things to understand. That according to the cookies I am in here, the workspace name. Let's enter a workspace name with this particular name. I accept. Continue. Post API 0 v1 workspaces. Description discoverable. Okay. A response to this request. Whichever request you see now, just take it with you so that you can understand it afterwards. Invite team members. Okay. Maybe later. personal a few times, information technology, it's setting up things. Okay. We are logged in, but we need to go back in order to test a lot of flaws. As far as I can judge the website for now, it has a lot of functionalities, which means we can find a lot of bugs specifically. And it's asking for my mail, so I would give my mail to it. Click on login. It sees whether this account exists or not. If it exists, it would redirect me to the next page. See, account status to can access stain and true. It would ask for a password. Over here I would click on forgot password. I'm not testing for any sort of rate limits because it's not in scope, but I am trying to do a host header injection attack if I can prove impact to them. It says not found. Okay, let's try the other way around. X forwarded. 1 second, please. Hmm. X forwarded host bing.com. It might not work as well because the security is good. It says 202 accepted. We might have gotten a link for the forgot password, but it makes sense if we have something over here. What I mean by that is this is our particular thing for resetting the password, and if you see clearly, it has a JWT token in it, like this. It contains the user ID, according to me, the create password hash, right, ID, and a lot of things. Now, I have a particular thing in my mind. I don't know how well it's going to be working. Now, if I try to create a new account, let's say mansudanofficial at the gmail.com, so it might send me an OTP. When we wrong enter the right OTP, it says 200. Okay, and we need a particular hash thing to for it to work, right? What I mean, I would let you know just now. So it says 401 unauthorized. So if I write over here 200 OK along with this thing which we got, create hash password, but over here I would be using this particular value to morph this request. I use this particular value, I would be entering it. I don't know how well it would be working. Over here I write test, uh, and I would be creating a password over here. Most probably it should not work because that hash is not generated for this email. See, it clearly detected that this hash is generated for some other user. That means the backend is verifying that what hash is being generated for what user. I wanted to bypass this particular flow, but I guess I won't be able to do that because the backend is verifying. Yeah, exactly. So we can't misuse that. I wanted to see if I can generally use any hash for any ID, but that's not the case. Hmm. So this website, as far as I have seen, it's good. It's secure. Like the basic things, we have worked a lot on the security perspective, but no website is safe. We click enter and create password hash is equal to 0, new is equal to 0, and let it go. It's asking for to change a password. If I click on change password, it didn't allow me. I click on change password, create false password verification, the hash. What if I but it's not in scope, so yeah, hardly matters. Now let's check other things. Other things like what I'm trying to say over here is, what if we sign up and log in with Google? I want to see how exactly it treats. Let me log in with this particular ID. It's asking for a password which myself I don't remember. Okay, I would remembered it. Okay, so what it's doing, it's saying verify the token, and it has a JWT in it. What if I take this JWT, put it in here, sign up? Okay, it's a normal thing over here. We let it go, and we are waiting for a request which might be useful to us. Okay, over here it has a request which has a state token, like it has a JWT token in here. It has the code. Okay, which might be responsible for our authentication, not sure, but yeah, that thing might be responsible for our authentication. And here in we got authenticated. Workspace name is 7 multiply 7, maybe later, personal. So over here, what I exactly needed to check is, I go to my profile, edit profile. Here there is no option to change the mail. See, there's no option to change the mail over here. There's no option to change uh what we say, the first name, last name over here. But uh if you clearly remembered, we had a request which looked like this somehow, where it was possible to change all these things. So I would try doing that. For example, if I load this particular thing, I want the cookies of this particular request in order to be successful. I got the cookies over here from the host till end na, till let's say this priority thing, I am copying it over here. Till this thing I am copying it over here. That means now this request has the cookies of that particular thing. I click on next, it says error anonymous. It's not allowing to patch the data. That means there is backend protection for sure. I click on put, it says cannot put post. Okay, so that means it didn't allow users to change their profile if they are authenticated using Google. If I say I want to change the photo and I put a XSS picture over here, post API user avatar, the file name, but I want the file name to be the same file name I am trying to upload. I copied it from here like that. Most probably it should block this particular request. It says created, it's murally blog, the name, uploads, and the link obvious. Let's see. Authorization permission mismatch. I don't know why. Okay, didn't popped up anything. Let's try putting a svj file. Most probably it should not allow that, because svj files are might be, according to the security I have seen for this particular website, it's good, so it might not allow svj files. I don't believe it won't even allow me. .svj, see, it's not allowing. Another thing, what if we try to put a exif picture over here, which contains a location, but let's see if that contains like be the same. Most probably over this website I have tested so far, it would delete the location. See, the location is deleted. Next thing up, what if we change this picture from here, we change this picture and we uploaded a random picture, for example. So ideally this link should stop working because the picture is changed from here. Now why are you storing that link at the back end? So it's a bug, it's a privacy concern bug, but if there is a expiration time, so then there is not a bug. But if they don't have a expiration time, moreover if I can't open it in a private tab, one second please, control A, control V. Okay, so it's a privacy concern bug, we can report it. Rest totally depends upon the company how they treat it, but it's for sure a privacy concern bug. To one second, security at the rate mural.co, security at the rate mural.co. Let me get the template. Privacy concern. This website has a lot of functionality, so we might find a lot of bugs in it because most of them would be A privacy concern bug means like the logic error bugs and things like that. This was the particular domain. According to me, they might not consider as sensitive, but we don't know about how a company thinks. So you should report every bug you see as critical. Go to the profile, and we would be giving them the link which we have over here. Okay, the first bug we have submitted. The next very important bug, which most of the companies are like accepting, is known as MTASTS bug. Some crypto companies even gave 200 USDT for this bug. Okay, they don't have a MTSTS record found. Some companies do give. Enter domain name. I have already entered the domain name. Check MTSTS. Taking a screenshot of this thing. Save. Next thing is reporting it. So security at the rate mural.co. Then you can clearly see that this company gave 200 USDT in reward for this particular bug. So it totally depends upon the company how they treat it. 200 USDT is not less for a bug like this. It's the way of writing reports, how you convince them that how exactly it's going to affect you, that makes all the difference. I say again and again. So right over here, mural.co. Mural.co. Write the domain name, like the screenshot which you took, report it, and that's how you are done. Moving to the next thing, what if I try to upload a Lota pixel image over here? Lota pixel. Open. Response to this request. Okay. It says created avatar, read the file name. Avatar. It has a lot of requests running in the background. If it loads, because the core function of this particular Lota pixel is to bring the website down. Right. So over here we can't edit this particular thing. We can't edit this. But if I try to change things over here, let's say I write recruiting, so it would create a particular request like this for patching the user, and if I add a particular entry with it for maybe our first name like this, so Bing, I don't know it would work or not. It says first name unexpected key, invalid payload, path first name. One second. How it writes the first name thing. The placeholder is like this. No. I would keep this request with me. I would later use it. Over here we have function to enable two-factor authentication. Let's click on it. Post v user elevate privileges. Fine. A response to this request. It gives a JWT token. Let's see what's in there. Build a habit not to skip any JWT token because it might tell you a lot of things. Elevate privileges, username over here. Okay. MFA enroll. It has the code. It has a lot of the things. So it says in order to enable 2FA, you can do all these things. Let's do that real quick. One second. Over here I'm getting mails from the company about something that you generated recovery codes. Hi Arman, you have successfully generated a new set of recovery codes for your keep them safe. Okay. Fine. Let me scan this particular thing. Mm, what we authenticator. I scanned it. After scanning, I have the code over here. I click on next. It's asking for a 6-digit OTP. Okay, I would enter it. Enrollment verify, type passcode. Okay, it says unauthorized. So these are the backup codes. I downloaded them. Enabled true. Okay. Session refresh. Okay. Over here it says your session has been refreshed and your two-factor authentication is enabled. Now while doing all the research I got some requests. Over here it says two-factor authentication true. What if I change it to false? Does it makes a difference? It says 201 created. I refresh this request. My two-factor authentication is disabled. Simple. My two-factor authentication is disabled. Now a thing comes up to my mind that if I log in again, my two-factor authentication gets enabled or not. If it doesn't get enabled, it's a bug for sure. How it would be a bug, I would explain. It's not enabled, it's disabled. By clicking a single request, I was able to disable the 2FA without even entering the password. Now, how to escalate the privilege? If I would repeat this step in this way, na, they would turn it as a P5 bug and they won't award money for it, to be very honest. So, we would repeat all these steps and I would explain you how exactly we did that. For example, I start from here. This is the first request to see what OTP we are getting, means what scanner we are getting, right? It gives us a JWT token. Second thing, this is to get that particular uh, things. I would scan again. I scanned it. I clicked on next. I would enter the code over here, 540700. This is the particular request over here which says enrollment verify. A response to this request. It would take a few seconds. I guess it's lagging a bit. It lagged a bit. But we had this thing saved with us. We might use it. I don't know why it's lagging. Whether they are restricting our IP or it's for everyone. I guess there's some error with the cookies and everything. It's fine now. We were trying to enable the 2FA. Hmm. I would scan it, then click on next, enter the code over here. At this step, it's lagging again and again. At this step only, it's lagging. Let me open my next account. It's not working as it should. Let me clear the cookies and the cache. Hmm. It's taking time to. Okay. So over here, click on work mail, entering the password in here, login. Okay, it says wrong password. gives a JWT token. We will let it load, and the next thing I'm going to do is profile, edit profile, go over here. Okay, so it says in order to enable two-factor authentication, you should enter your current password. We do that. Password. It gives me a JWT token back. Let me see this JWT token, what it contains. Okay, it contains a session ID, username, and normal things. MFA enroll. I would open authenticator again, scan this thing, then I enter 288869. It's asked for a way to do things. I click on done. It says enable true. This was the particular request I was looking for. Now, what if we try to off it? Now it says you have no longer been asked for a one-time code in addition to your password. For your protection, enter your mural password to continue. Now we are assuming that a person has to disable this particular thing, and it says view recovery codes. Again, for viewing the recovery codes, we need the password. Now what exactly we need to do is, we have this request over here. I change it over here false. It says 201 created. So we are able to turn off the authentication without giving the password confirmation. Okay, so that's a bug for sure. We would report it to the company. And moreover, one more bug, hyperlink email injection as well. Let me read their scope if they have not excluded it. Hyperlink. No, it didn't have. They have not excluded it, so we would report it as well because it's getting reflected. So over here, security at the rate mural.co. Subject is turning off 2FA, bypassing password confirmation. So it's bypassing the password confirmations. Hacker one. So we need to explain them the impact. So it's turning off bypassing password confirmation. So we need to give the steps. Login into app.mural. As I told, it website has a lot of functionalities. We will learn a lot of new things. App.mural.co. Turn on your 2FA. Once enabled, if you want to disable, one more thing came up to my mind. but it's a API request. Let me see once again. Mm, let me check one thing. Expected this. Okay. If once enabled, if you want to disable 2FA, you need the password, but we can use this post request to enable to disable the 2FA without even knowing the password, which is a clear logic error bug. Now we need to give them the request which is responsible. So this is the bug we submitted. Next, hyperlink email injection for sure, but for that to continue we need at least one screenshot where it's getting embedded. Most of the companies claim it as to be P5, and Bugcrowd it's also P5. But yeah, but it all only depends upon how you write the report. Hyper link email injection leads to, okay, in this case it's not that thing we are trying to understand. One second, Ravi. Yeah, so over here we need to give the report. We need to change it a bit. Hyper link email injection. Go to app.mural.co, create an account with name bing.com. Then you need to explain that enable or disable 2FA. So yeah, you just need to change the report over here and attach the screenshot along with it. And that's how we reported this bug as well. Moving on. Huh, it's sent. Moving on, the other things, there are another methods of testing 2FA too. What I mean by that is, I would explain you just now. For example, I am deleting the old 2FA, right? I am deleting the old 2FA, but what I am trying to do is, I click on it, it's asking for my password. Fine. Hmm. I click on QR code, I scan it, enter a 6 digit thing which is 165801. Click on next. It says it's invalid. One second, it got changed. 3801931. It's asking for recovery codes. I would download it. Done. Now, simply what I'm trying to do is, if I go to these requests, this was the particular request. Okay, it says unauthorized, need to refresh. Okay. Hmm. Over here, what if I try to change my name? First names may only contains letters, apostrophes, commas, hyphens. Okay. It's not allowing. Let me keep this on. Huh. Let me log out and then I would explain what I was exactly trying to do with this thing. I logged out from here, and if I try to log in, I want to see if 2FA is really over there or not. It says your password is wrong, but this was my password. Hmm. So it says enter a 2FA code and stuff like that. I would click on view page source and see what information it has. We don't have, for example, we don't have a 2FA code. I say having trouble getting 2FA code, so we have the recovery codes. This is my first recovery code. I click on this, I click on verify. What it would do is bypass passcode along with this particular JWT token. Okay, let me see what its JW token contains. It only contains the username, right? It only contains my username. Okay, we would try to misuse it somehow. I would remember it, and it rest it contains nothing. It's the I want to see what's the response we would get. It gives me back the JWT token. Okay, perfect. Now, It says click on view recovery codes. I click on this. I click on my password. A response to this request. It gives me a JWT token. Now it's clearly showing me that this particular code you have utilized. Okay. What I If I click on this request, which is API v0mfa bypass generate, I take this request into repeater. It created the new recovery codes for me. Perfect. Now understand the flow very clearly. This is my 2FA. I want to generate the new recovery codes. I need to enter the password. What if I know this request would generate the new recovery codes? I click on this. I created new recovery codes. As simple as that. Without any password authentication. Just by knowing that this is the particular endpoint used to generate the new recovery codes. So over here, sign in. It is a bug on HackerOne. It says setup 2FA try to disable without knowing the OTP, which we already did that. You can't. You need to know the authentication code or the backup code. Okay. Open Google Authenticator. So they modified the requests and they were able to uh, generate the new codes. Okay. And let's say password not checked when disabling 2FA, violation of secure design principles. So this is a bug for sure, where we are able to create codes of 2FA. For example, a person has a logged in session. All I need to do is know this endpoint. Simple. So over here I write app.mural.co enable 2FA, and if you want to get new recovery codes, you might need to enter password, right? Use this post request with a So it's a high severity bug, but it totally depends upon the company how they treat it. We can't say much on that how exactly they would be categorizing this thing, because all these cookies we can easily get from any user request. There's nothing sensitive about this. We can get it from any request. It's easy to get that, but again, depends upon company to company.